So what was that year and a half like then? I mean, there's a lot of listeners that we're going to be having right now that do not know what it means to work in a mill, that do not know what it means to get up at 6 a.m. and go do some of the work that you did. And I could see definitely how that job that you took and that work that you did with your family and, getting all that time and effort put in definitely contributed to that toughness that you had, that grit that you had. I remember when I came in to college and you were from day one, were a cool dude and you were good to all us young kids and stuff, but you were a bad dude. I mean, you had that kind of mean swagger on the football field, and it wasn't just for you; it was for all of your teammates and all your linemen, your brothers that were there. You were going to go back up any receiver that was getting picked on by a DB, and you were going to knock out any guy trying to jump up to block a PAT. And that was just kind of the attitude you had, and it took me until I learned some of your background. I was like, all right, well, this makes a lot more sense now. And I mean, I don't want to get all like cliche and stuff, but it's very, the Rudy story, I'm going to go to work, I'm going to save my money, no one tells me I can do this, and I'm going to go get this done. So explain a little bit about was there doubt in that year and a half? Was there times where you're like, you know what, man, I'm just going to quit and I'm just going to, do my own thing? Or is there other stuff going on in your head at the time?
Yeah, I think literally that job it's the lowest job you can have at the mill. It's called part of the cutoff department. So what they do is they pour this titanium in these plaster castings. And I mean, it's just liquid and it's glowing red. And that's when our department would take over. So you're sweating, it's in August, it's like 100 degrees out in Central Oregon, and you're holding these glowing metal things with these tongs,
And you're trying to put on weight when you're sweating like crazy in the middle of August.
Yeah, so I'm just hauling butt. My dad, is like a manager there, and his employee number was like number 8. He literally helped build the facility from the
wow.
And so I knew that I couldn't embarrass my dad either. And I didn't want, I wanted to put a good job in. I'm not there to be lazy and stuff, So yeah, you're right. Hauling around, throwing metal around. I think that job definitely instilled a lot of toughness, whether it's physical pain, I still have scars on my arms where like the metal fell on the table and the titanium like slashed my arm open. One time I had the torch kit and it fell and the torch actually went across my arm, and I still have like discoloration on my skin from the torch, and so you get, just stuff like that of just becoming a man and just learning what it means to work hard and have grit. I think that job also showed me that I didn't want that job for the rest of my life. So having a hard job like that, I think it cemented in me. I knew I had more potential, which is nothing against the guy working at the back end of the mill. I just personally thought for me, I had more potential than to work at the back end of the mill. And I could contribute more to either a job, a company, or myself. And so I think it reinforced that, hey, you got to keep going. You can't settle here, and you can't settle for what you got, and just keep pushing. But yeah, it was it was hard. I remember my mom, after we kind of solidified it, she even said, I got to be honest, I'm real nervous, your girlfriend, she was a year behind me, and that didn't play into the factor of me sitting out, whatever would have played out was fine. But
yeah,
no, I don't know, you're going to start making money, your girlfriend's going to graduate, and she's my wife now, and her and all that good stuff.
yeah.
But even my mom was like, I don't know, this makes me nervous. There's just so much going on that, you might fall off track, and I think there was a lot of risk for it. I don't think many people have walked, down that path that I did. And I don't think it's a path for everybody to walk, but I think there's lessons along the way, like you're talking about, that are universal for sure. And it's just my story had different details to get there than somebody else's, but the idea of showing up, working hard, doing your best, and really putting the work in, that's the key. And I think at that job you have to, right? Or they're just going to run you over with parts and you're going to get fired. I mean, there's no, and that's what kind of kids coming out of high school. I didn't realize that stuff either. You just, you try your best, or you whatever, maybe you don't. It all works out. That's not always the case. That's not the case in real life. And I think that job nailed that down for me for sure.